Hello, and congratulations on taking your first step towards deeper, safer, more secure relationships in your life. I want to paint a picture for you so you can have a better sense of what's on offer in the Coming Home to Love retreat. I want you to imagine what it would be like if you could genuinely feel safe and connected in your relationships, where you don't have to force anymore, you don't have to control, you don't have to guess, you don't have to track what's going on, you don't have to be afraid that as soon as you open your mouth, something terrible is going to happen. The patterns and dynamics around conflict, around disconnection, and around distance in our relationships don't have to keep happening. There are simple and powerful ways we can begin to generate more self-awareness, more presence, and more clarity around what's actually happening, what matters most here and now, and how do I begin to provide the love and care that I didn't receive when I was little, that my unconscious attachment patterns are continuing to play out in my adult life. It's possible to cut through the noise of loud, insecure attachment patterns, but to do it in the midst of our lives when things are busy and we have 100 things that we're tracking, and we maybe try to listen to a podcast or read some of a book, or maybe we take a little program or we watch a webinar, but actually at the heart of it, we don't get a chance to truly settle, to truly let go of needing to hold and manage and control and direct everything. This is what the Journey to Secure Retreat is about. It's an opportunity for you to step away from your life, the noise, the busyness, the intensity, the challenge, the conflict, and be held. The Four Springs Retreat Center is deeply embedded in a beautiful forested area. There's natural environments all around. There's trails to walk. There's an outdoor pool that we can use. We've hired chefs to run our kitchen and provide the most incredible and nourishing food during our journey together. This is the third year we'll be running the Coming Home to Love retreat. And what we've done is we've looked across the spectrum of healing modalities, therapeutics, interventions, skill development, and we've curated a 6-day journey that's truly going to allow you to get to the very roots of your insecure attachment patterns, of the unconscious dynamics that keep running the show and keep creating the kinds of relationships that you want to be free of, so that you can begin to refashion yourself and your life in a way that reflects the groundedness, the safety, the security, and the love that you most want. Now, I want to say this retreat is not for everyone. If you're someone who isn't ready to really open up and to really look and feel the things that have been at the heart of the difficulties in your relationships, this is not the right thing for you. What we're looking for is a group of people that want to come together to be held, to be guided, and to be supported in truly facing themselves, in truly coming into contact with the misunderstandings and mistakes that we've made around what we needed to be and do to have the love that we want. And of course, if you've done any real work, you know that that all starts with you. It starts with you being able to clear space and time so that you can allow the kind of busyness of your life, the heaviness of your life to fall away, and you can come back into contact with the parts of you that got broken, that got left behind, and to begin to learn how to pick those pieces up. Not just in the retreat. What we're committed to in the Coming Home to Love retreat is that you're not only going to have an experience of being held and cared for and guided in significant shifts and transformations within yourself, but you're also going to go away with tools and strategies and a roadmap for the next months and years of your life. Part of the Coming Home to Love retreat is the aftercare. We will have regular calls in the 3 months that follow the retreat, and you're going to get a chance to keep touching into this beautiful community that we create that is all about what is it that has the greatest impact on the wounds, the hurts, and the unhealed parts of ourselves that didn't get what they need when we were young. And everyone can heal these wounds. They can be integrated, but it's not going to happen on its own. And I think one of the great challenges is that in modern times, there are a million places you can go. There's 1,000 podcasts to listen to. There's 100,000 books that have been written. There are songs, there are experts, there are programs. And what I want to say to you is that the facilitator team for Coming Home to Love, each of us have over 20 years of experience facilitating and coaching in the area of communication and relationships. And we've done our own healing work, the forge or the crucible of relationship. And we feel so good about a team that has over 75 years of experience coming together and saying, what's the very best thing? What's the most concise? What's the most powerful? What's the most effective ways we can start to create a loving space for our hurt, wounded parts, and to begin to empower those parts of us that can genuinely bring our pieces together and that actually enable us to show up even in the difficult aspects of our relationship and be clear and feel grounded and say what we need to say so that that other person can come and join us in the love that we're creating, or they can say to us, hey, I'm not ready. I'm not ready, willing, or able to do this with you right now. We're able to create the love we want, one conversation at a time. This is the promise of coming home to love. So if these things that I'm speaking about, if having a life where you know what's going on in you, you know what matters, you know what parts are yours, the old unconscious stuff, the old dysfunctional dynamics, and you can start to hold those pieces well so they don't run the ship and they're not speaking for you when a conversation that really matters is happening. If that sounds good to you, then my invitation is for you to join us. Join us this summer from August 5th to 10th for the Coming Home to Love retreat. You won't be the same. Now, I know for some of you, there's probably interest. You know, if you got it all together and you have no issues in your relationships, awesome. That's like you're a 1 in a million, and maybe you can come and teach at the next Coming Home to Love retreat. But if you're like most people and relationships continue to be a real challenge and you continue to grapple with how you can show up in a way that will genuinely make it different, that will genuinely make it better over time, then the invitation is here. And what I recognize is that we got a lot going on, and this might be something new that you're considering, coming to a 6-day retreat. It's an investment, we know. And one of the things that I'm clear about is that once we get clear that something is right, that it's time, that we're ready, and we know that whatever that thing is, that it's the right thing for us, we make it happen. We stop getting in our own way and we stop creating roadblocks. So I want to talk a little bit about the things that might be going on for some people around why you might not come. So the first one that often comes up is like, it's just a lot of time. And while I hear that, what I also know is that when we start to approach a change, when we start to approach the possibility or the opportunity to create real change, our mind or the parts of us that are not quite ready to face and feel and heal those patterns, they speak up. They speak in the language of, this doesn't work. So what I want you to do is to think about, if this mattered more than anything else in your life, what would you do and what could you do to make it happen? Now, I'm actually not saying that you should, because for some people, this is not the right thing. It's not the right timing. It's not the right opportunity. We're not the right people to guide you. I'm happy to concede that. But a lot of the time, and I've been doing this work for so long, a lot of the time, the right thing comes up. And maybe we don't say no in a really loud, explicit way. We say no in the considerations we have, in the excuses we make, in the ways that we say, wow, it's just not the right time. So again, my invitation to you is to really tune in. If my relationships continue to occur in the way that they are, how will I feel about that in a year? How will I feel about that in 5 years? How will I feel about that in 10 years? And if you have a sense that what is on offer with Coming Home to Love could really be the difference for you, what kind of difference could it make in a year or 5 or 10? How important is that to you? So another consideration is obviously money. You know, a 6-day retreat, residential, with food and incredible workshops and opportunities to heal and grow, it's not free. This is another place where we look at things and we look through the lens of value. Like I have to put a roof over my head. I have to put food in my belly. I have to take care of, maybe I got a family. And there are question marks around, how do I allocate? How do I take care of and manage my finances? And we should do that. We should be taking good care of our resources. And I think one of the things that gets missed so often, especially in modern culture, is like we spend money on all kinds of things. And I think when we get really honest, if we were to look at the real value of the things we spend our money on, our tendency is to spend money on stuff. This is sort of a symptom of modern culture, but we spend money on things or experiences that are quite fleeting, and we don't necessarily invest in our well-being, which I see as the foundation, like your well-being, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your relational health. These things are at the heart of all of the real enjoyment you can have in life. All of the meaning you can actually derive from life comes through those aspects of well-being. So an encouragement I would have is, if there's a financial consideration that you have, fair enough, look at it, but also look at what actually matters to me. Esther Perel has this great quote where she basically says, the quality of your life is entirely dependent on the quality of your relationships. We believe it is the single most important factor when it comes to happiness, longevity, and satisfaction in life. So if you agree, if you hear what I'm saying and you're agreeing, my recommendation is find a way. It may not be easy for some. For some of you, it's no problem. It's like, yeah, this is the right thing. Great. Okay, register. For others, there may be some managing to do. But when we know something is worth it, we make it happen. So really wanting to invite those of you that know it's time, that know you want to make a real shift in your relationships and have an intuition and a sense that this is it, like this is an opportunity for that, to make it happen. Figure out a way to make it work. Talk to us. We're happy to have a conversation with people that are really interested in the retreat and where there might be an arrangement that needs to be made. We do have a payment plan that can be discussed. Other people ask, can I come on my own or do I need to bring my partner? The truth is it usually splits about 50%. There's 50% couples and 50% singles. If you have a couple, you and a partner, and you're both really into it, I think that's probably the most powerful way to create big shifts in relationship. And if you're ready and your partner isn't, or if you're single and you're looking to really create the foundation for a relationship, this retreat is so good for that. It really does offer you an opportunity to know yourself more deeply, to understand relationships more deeply, and to start to develop awareness, capacity, skill, and clarity around what's involved in actually doing that practically in real time, especially when things get difficult. Another question we often get asked is, well, I haven't been to a retreat before, so is this right for me? And because the three lead facilitators, myself, Francesca, and Philippe, are so experienced, we've curated the journey of this retreat to allow for a real holding and support of those that are maybe new to this kind of work, and opportunities for those that have been working in this stuff for a long time to really go deep, to go to where they need to go to be at their edges, to do their work and to heal their pieces. So there's going to be opportunity and space and availability for you to find your way in this journey. So there's no pushing or forcing, but there's also strong support for everyone to come to their rightful edges, the rightful ways in which they can show up and create the biggest impact on unconscious patterns and recurring themes in their relationships. The last one is just, how do I know this is right for me? And the reality is that if you haven't done retreats before, that'll be harder for you. I think if you've been to retreats and you've done a lot of personal work, you've done relational work, you've been to therapy, coaching, this is going to feel like a breath of fresh air and a familiar home within which you can do your deep work. And if you're less experienced, then this is more a leap of faith, a kind of intuition. You don't know because you haven't experienced it. In listening to me and listening to me speak about the realities and the challenges and the opportunities in doing this deep attachment healing work. And you have your own inner intuition, which again, I would point you to what matters most to you. Are you ready to really look at and work with and address those things that matter most? And then the only real question, if the answer is yes to those first two, is where is the best place? And you have to figure that out. Fortunately, right now, we are making it available for you to book a call with one of the lead facilitators where you can talk directly to us about the nature of what we're going to do, about what you can expect, about how you're going to benefit, about what's going to be challenging, about whether it's a fit. So if you're considering, if you're thinking about this, please click on the link, book a call. We would love to talk to you. If it's not a fit, we will provide as much value as we can and wish you on your way. And if it is a fit, we are so excited for you to join us in this small group, beautifully held container in a journey towards secure attachment and in coming home to love. Thanks for being here. Thanks for clicking. Thanks for investing in yourself, even if it's just this time. And I wish you the very best. I hope to see you. I hope to talk to you. And regardless of whether you join for this retreat, love well.